Who knew talking about a movie with such great comeuppances and such a great story that we're gonna go straight after the hose?
I call him as I sees him. Welcome to Tairimo Boys podcast. I'm your host Cody. With me in second chair is the boy I'm about to have locked up for 13 years. It's Jeremy.
Rare.
In that
You
jail.
just want my woman. I don't have.
I was gonna use an intro like that, but I know you didn't have one.
You gotta rub it in.
Yep.
Sorry to have this one this weekend. So.
With me in third chair is the boy who has a map to a hidden treasure. It's Ryan.
Going on?
I'm gonna have him in prison too.
About that treasure map, does X mark the spot on this one?
Nope. Never did.
Never will.
Today we're gonna be covering a movie that Jeremy recommended. It's based on, I'm assuming it's an old book called The Count of Monte Cristo.
Old book and an old movie.
This has been made into movies several times. But today we're going to be reviewing the 2002 version, which was Henry Cavill's second movie.
Get to see a young Cavill.
I wouldn't have recognized him if I hadn't read that movie.
Seriously, I didn't recognize him until rewatching this movie. I was like, oh my god, that's Henry Cavill as a freaking baby almost.
Does he get recast in the sequel to this one too?
Oh, they recast everyone. I think it was more.
I was gonna say I've
French
never seen
movie.
any other movies.
But Jeremy's been recommending this for a while, and we finally found the time to get to it. So, Jeremy, this is your movie. Give me your first thoughts.
I loved this movie as a child, even though I probably didn't understand half of it. I still love this movie as an adult, and I will swear by this movie. It's one of the greatest comeuppance stories ever.
I think that's going to be a common theme in this review.
Yes, it is.
Comeuppances.
Be prepared, viewers, because this movie is comeuppances.
Ryan, your first thoughts?
I loved this book as a child, and I just recently watched this movie, and I really, really enjoyed this movie as well. Comeuppance.
I knew you would love this from the beginning, Ryan.
Right up my alley.
What about you, Cody? How'd you feel?
All right. I could see why you boys liked it whenever I was watching it. I was like, this kind of has like Princess Bride vibes.
I can see where you're coming from. Without the fantasy.
Yeah.
But it still got the vibe.
This is more based in reality. It's a movie where like each act is wildly different, and overall I enjoyed the movie. Leaning into the mic for the most part.
There we go.
Ryan's
Shoes on the other foot today.
Okay, we'll get to this later, but I did not like the ending.
Okay.
And we'll talk
Yeah,
about
we'll have to discuss that.
Yep. But we're not starting with the ending.
Not this time, anyway.
So, the idea behind this movie is it takes place around, like, Napoleon times. Like, Napoleon's even in the damn movie.
Mm-hmm.
Right at the beginning of the movie, like, maybe, like, a couple minutes in the movie, he first appears. Like, whenever I was seeing this, I went and paused the movie. I went and did, like, a 10-minute history lesson on Napoleon. I was like, okay, was this the first time Napoleon got exiled or the second time? I was like, okay, this is the first time. Okay. Guy lived an interesting life, I can tell you that.
I feel like I gotta do my research now. History lesson.
You can do it after the podcast.
Oh, yes.
But yeah,
That'll take me time.
Yeah, it takes place during Napoleon's first exile, but basically we start with like two characters, Edmond and Fernand. I might be so bad with names in this episode because they're all French names, but their captains die and they take him to the island that Napoleon was first exiled to, and he asks our main character Edmond to deliver a letter for him. He can't read, so he doesn't know it's kind of like a military letter trying to escape from exile. But his friend ends up betraying him, gets him thrown in jail for 13 years.
Because he can read.
Yeah, well, the friend is like the son of a count, if I remember right, or duke. I think it's count. But after he escapes from prison, he ends up finding a treasure, having more money than he knows what to do with, and the rest of the movie is him getting his revenge and comeuppances.
And that's the plot. Simple but well executed plot.
Everyone loves a good revenge story.
Right? Who doesn't? It's also interesting to me that how complex like the comeuppances is. Like he doesn't throughout this movie, he's not just going after to kill somebody. He's going out to take everything he has for revenge.
Yeah.
That's why I love this movie so much.
I was going to say it. He's like coming up with like really complex plots. What was the name of the Like the knife guy that was his number two.
Jacobo, I think.
Jacobo.
Jacopo.
Yeah.
Jacopo.
Yeah, because at one point in time, he's like, I could just go and kill these guys, bam, 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 in the afternoon and be done. I was like, oh no, I need like full revenge. It needs to be slow. Ryan, your thoughts?
I pretty much don't have anything to add. That's pretty bang on.
And you know what movie this also reminded me of? Shawshank Redemption.
I can see it.
Because
Yeah.
yeah, he spends like a 13-year, well, not 13 years, maybe 10, working with that like old priest guy, trying to slowly dig his way out.
It's a very, very long time. Old priest was doing well for his age.
I'm gonna sit here and complain about that scene because when you're in prison like that, your health kind of quickly declines. That's kind of what happened to Napoleon the second time, and they gave him they kind of put him in like damp lodgings, but it really wasn't prison, but they kind of wanted him to die. And by the way, you don't get out of prison like really muscular like that.
No, not at all. And you saw what they were getting fed. It was like
Yeah.
broth or soup or something. I'm like, just, probably little to no protein in that anyway. So, yeah, if we're going to be nitpicky boys, I can nitpick that one. I thought the same thing, too. I was like, you would be out of protein. Like, you wouldn't have the strength to crawl down in that tunnel.
And another thing, too, I got Aladdin vibes from this movie.
Okay, color me interested.
I mean, as soon as he gets like the treasure that the old priest had the map to, I was like, okay, this is just like in Aladdin after he wishes to become a prince, and then Genie's doing all that stuff, makes his grand entrance and all that with the hot air balloon.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I see it.
I actually see that.
Fair. It's a good comparison.
God, you're making me wish Robin Williams was in this movie and Morgan Freeman was narrating it.
Yes.
So, boys, first question: what do we think about the casting?
I love the cast. I'm not familiar with a lot of the names, but with the few that I recognize, they're a welcome addition to it.
Ryan, your thoughts?
I'm only familiar with 4 of the people in this movie. That being said, everybody in this cast brought their A game.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
echoing that.
Acting was spot on in this.
Everyone did good. It was good casting too, since this movie spans like a 13-year story. Like you could easily see like the characters are younger at the beginning, and then they're able to transform with some
Maybe show
facial
some
hair.
Yeah.
look more mature.
And somehow completely unrecognizable.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you look through the credits, there's no young person, older person. Like, nope, it's the same people.
Yep, except old Fernand. He didn't age one bit. He stayed the same throughout the movie.
I mean, I still felt he aged a little bit.
Maybe.
And I have to ask, Jeremy, how would you escape from the prison?
Well, I'm no escape artist. If we're doing boys in action, I already died. They didn't give me my goddamn protein. I withered away.
Yeah, this close thing we're gonna do a boys in action in this episode.
Newsflash, we all don't make it.
Well, we gotta ask Ryan first.
Okay. Ryan, come up with something. You got this.
Oh no, I'm resigned to my fate.
Okay, Cody, you got to take the wheel on this one.
Okay, so the one time the old man and Edmond miss dinner, the guy looks in to check on him. Like, you could easily take advantage of that and just whack the guy.
True, but if you're fed slop, are you going to have the strength to take on a soldier? Or a prison guard, not a soldier?
That guy was not a prison guard. That was more of a crony. It just takes one fucking rock.
Which they had.
Yeah, they had plenty of rocks. Prison's not the most structurally sound.
Okay, benefit of the doubt. I do this early enough where I realize there's a rock. I smack the guy over the head. I still die because I get lost trying to escape the place and die anyway.
You just go up, Jeremy.
Just go up and up.
I was just thinking, the very first comeuppances are towards the prison warden.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful comeuppance, too.
Drowns him underwater. I liked his character, too.
The prison ward?
Yeah. Because as soon as he's, like, put into the prison, he's like, look, there's been a misunderstanding. I shouldn't be here. And then the prison warden's like, oh, yeah, I know. This is a place for political prisoners. And just, like, has no remorse throwing him into his cell. And once a year goes in and beats him.
Yeah, he does a really good job with this character of making you hate the character already. It's like, yeah, well, love-hate relationship. You love to hate the character.
You will have to do that with when it comes to like a character like this where he's wardening over like innocent people that he knows they're innocent.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Another character I want to talk about, the girl Mercedes. She was a hoe.
She was a hoe with an actual reason, unlike my hoes.
She had a reason later on, but she was
Not
a
in the
hoe.
beginning.
Yeah, not at the beginning.
Yeah.
She was getting ready to
Yeah.
putting a timer on sleeping with Fernand.
Well, he's rich. That's what hoes go for.
Edmond didn't need that shit. We almost got Boob Bonanza though.
Almost, but we didn't, unfortunately. So, sorry, viewers, no Boop Bonanza today. And it's a disappointment because Mercedes was hot.
Oh, she was. Character's a hoe, but actress is hot.
Yeah. That's fair of a lot of hoes, I guess.
At the end of the movie, he's like, I kept this little piece of string on my finger all these years. It's clean as hell. It's like, bet you could have just grabbed another piece of string and tied it on there.
She probably did. She was a hoe, after all. We've already discussed that.
And then Edmond's pullout game ain't that great.
Yeah, I mean, that's on him. Who knew talking about a movie with such great comeuppances and such a great story that we're could go straight after the hose?
I call him as I sees him. The thing is, too, is like this is it's a maturing story for Edmond because he's like third in command at the beginning. Then the old guy puts him as like captain. Then he naively gets thrown in prison, spends 13 years rotting in there. Has to grow up like really quick. And then as soon as he escapes, finds his treasure and has to, well, he doesn't have to, but he takes on the role of a count now that he has like infinite wealth.
He lived that high roller life for a little bit.
That reminds me. You got that scene where Joppo, was that what his name was?
Jacopo.
Jocko, whatever. I'm gonna keep calling him the knife guy.
There you go.
When his character's introduced, like the bootlegger captain's like, "Oh, he's the best knife fighter I've ever seen," and then Edmund's like, "Oh, you haven't seen me yet." Yeah, like no, like you don't get out much, do you?
Oh yeah, maybe you should get out more.
God, I love that scene where they're fighting, and then Mitch Edmonds is like, "Yeah, just follow along," and puts the knife. It's like, oh, "Okay, how about we spare this guy? You made your point already." And then the knife guy's like, as soon as he's like spared, he's like I've got your back to the end, and that's like one of the themes throughout the movie is just loyalty. Every other person in the movie except for Fernand is loyal.
And Mercedes.
No, she's a hoe. So
Yeah, so we have two to further on the whole the Captain Luigi. There was a time lapse that we got pretty much directly after that scene, wasn't it? That all of a sudden they're arriving back. Years had passed.
no,
I would have loved to see those adventures.
I think they said months.
Was it months?
Yeah, I'm confident it was months, unless I misunderstood. I know the word months came up, unless I misunderstood the scene.
Yeah, well, there was a time lapse, but I would have loved to see like some of those adventures where they become such good friends.
Yeah, it would have been maybe just some flashbacks would have been nice because they're thick as thieves afterwards. And I like
Right. Ryan, you've read the book, right? Haven't you? Yeah. Oh, yeah. You said that in the beginning. Did they have anything? Did they further on the adventures?
I don't know. The last time I read the book, I was 13.
Fair.
Don't remember it. But I did find a copy of it at Target that I want to get. So once it comes in, I will let you know.
We'll circle back.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna be saying the book's better than the movie today, are we?
I
was reading too. They changed like some of the fates of some of the characters in between the book and the movie. Like the Magister guy, if I remember right, like he gets driven insane in the book. And here they do that thing where Edmond has him confess to his crimes in the bathhouse, and then it's like, oh, no one's gonna believe you, and then curtain reveals like all the soldiers are behind it, and then throws him in the carriage with the gun, tells him to unalive himself.
Great scene.
Here's your fun fact. Originally, that scene was different. So the scene we get, he takes the gun, puts it in his mouth, pulls the trigger, nothing happens. And then Edmund's like, do you really think I was going to let you have an easy way out? In the original version of that scene, it actually is loaded and he unalives himself. But test audiences were shown that scene, and they were saying it's like, yeah, it shouldn't be that easy. And the director ended up shooting the scene where both scenes, so we got the one where the gun's not loaded.
I definitely prefer the gun not loaded.
Yep.
Because it just makes it more impactful when Edmund's like you said, when he says, "You think I would make it that easy?"
The big thing is this is about slow revenge, not quick revenge. Because he could have had the knife guy go in and kill them like really quickly. It's
right? Or with that money, he could have with that treasure, he could have just dipped, like it was suggested by Knife Guy.
Yeah, like I said, I'll talk about that in a bit. Like, it's really focused. The revenge is focused on. It's supposed to be 4 characters, but it gets dwindled down to 3, and it's like that. Who was the second in command, like older captain guy that helped betray him? It's like
what was his name? I can't even remember his name.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Was it Villafort?
Maybe, or that was the Magister guy that we were just talking about. But like
I don't remember.
I love the lead up to that scene because he's meeting Edmund's meeting with Henry Cavill's character, who's supposed to be Fernand's son, but of course we know since we're talking about not pulling out, he's actually Edmund's son. But
and if you couldn't tell, they really pan to his eyes quite often. Like, okay, yeah, it's probably Edmund's.
I did notice,
even though Fernand had blue eyes, but they really like do an emphasis on. I feel like on Henry Cavill's character.
I didn't notice that. Ryan, did you notice it?
Did not.
Or maybe it was just my eyes drawn to Henry Cavill. That could be too.
But the scene where the knife guy comes in is like, oh, we're shipping the gold, and then Edmund's like, we're shipping the goods. Like, oh yeah, corrects himself. And then you find out later, it's like he made that speech mistake intentionally. Like, I love stuff like that. But it leads to that older captain guy going in, trying to steal it all. And then, of course, Luigi's there to backstab him. And then Edmund ends up kind of dueling him. And it looks like he hung him, but he's like, cut him down before he dies. So he can go and rot in prison for years. Now, I know in the UK version of the movie, they apparently cut some of that scene where he's hung up by his neck.
Softies.
Oh, another thing, too, I forgot to mention. They wanted originally Arnold Schwarzenegger to play Edmund.
Now, wouldn't that be something?
I think it would have ruined the movie. I'm sorry.
What would they... I mean, back then, it's not like CGI was that great or anything like that. So, I mean, how are they going to dwindle Arnold down? Like, for instance, the prison scene, when we visually see that Edmund's lost weight. Like, well, a little bit of weight. He still comes out of the prison pretty
still
buff,
jacked.
obviously. Yeah, but there is a period of time that he does look a little bit thinner. How are you going to do that to Arnold? He probably turned down the role for that. He's like, no, I need my muscles.
Is there a 5XL shirt?
Probably. They'd have to make one for him.
All right, I think we've covered everything, so let's talk about the ending. So, in the end, like I said, we've already mentioned, he knocks off like 2 of the people that betrayed him. We get the third one. It's Fernand. They end up having an epic duel, slicing each other up, and eventually Fernand is killed. Now, it's also revealed that Henry Cavill is Edmund's son. Jeremy, what were your thoughts about the ending?
I'm so fixated on the comeuppance, I loved it. That might be a bias just because I love this movie and I love comeuppance, so I'm curious what you have to say about this, Cody.
Let me get Ryan's thoughts first.
First, let me say I hated what's her face.
Mercedes?
Yeah, I hated that. And I don't know, but for some reason the ending when he dies, what's his name? What was his name again?
Fernand?
Man, really unsatisfying. I don't know why. I was left
You wanted
a little,
more?
Yeah.
They could have drugged the fight out a little bit longer, I guess. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what I would change before Cody gives his for the most part. I would have liked to see the fight drug out a little bit more.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, that's all I got for that anyway.
There's your fix it, boys, for today.
Yeah.
Great.
That was an easy one.
Okay. Like I said at the beginning of the review, I do not like the ending. I think it undermines themes throughout the movie. I think Edmund should have died at the end.
And Fernand live?
Yeah.
Or how would you do that?
I think I thought they both killed each other at the end, but nope, Edmund survived.
Okay, so you want a gladiator type ending.
Yeah. Because
fair.
Here's the thing about the movie. Starting at the prison scene, there's huge themes of don't go down the route of revenge. The whole message in the movie is God will bring you justice. Or how did that saying go?
Don't start nothing, won't be nothing.
That's Jesus that said that,
Oh, all right.
not Jesus.
Whenever he gets thrown into prison on his cell is like etched like God will bring justice or something like that. The old priest, whenever he's dying because of the cave in, gives him the map to the treasure and tells him that it's like, yeah, don't use this gold for revenge. And then like later on in the movie, the knife guy even tells him like you shouldn't be taking this path of revenge. So throughout the movie, you're being told by all these characters like wise advice of like don't go down the path of revenge. He ends up going down the path of revenge, and there is no negative outcome. Like I think he should have died at the end to cement the idea that taking the path of revenge was kind of his undoing. I mean, he has a son, so his like legacy lives on. So at least so you could say like even though he died early, he still has a legacy.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair because he does basically cast God out of his life in prison. Like he doesn't believe in God anymore. He goes down the path of revenge, and then he becomes holier than thou after he's got his revenge. So I can see where you're coming from.
Ryan, your thoughts?
Yeah, I would agree with that. And since I had actually forgotten the book, like it was so long ago since I read it, I actually thought that's how the movie was going to end with Edmond dying, and I was very, very wrong. Obviously,
Yeah, that's why I'm complaining because I was expecting him to die the whole time. It's like, oh, he's still alive, huh?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Like I said, I got a bias because I loved this movie as a kid. So I wasn't able to, think that deep as a kid. I couldn't do Fix It Boys back then.
Well, that's why you dig that deep now, Jeremy.
I'm sorry, the bias is there. I still love this movie. That's what a bias is.
Okay.
To your point, yes, that is fair. I would actually like that version of the movie. Like it wouldn't have taken away anything from me, and maybe felt more satisfactory. I don't know.
Like I said, I think the theme of revenge would have been better if he would have died at the end. Like, as a cautionary tale, don't go down this path.
Right? Instead, you get the
And
the non-cautionary tale is revenge is okay, and you find God again.
you find God and you get like infinite money. Just rot in prison for 13 years.
Now, okay, here's a question. Would you boys rot in prison for that type of money for 13 years with an annual beating?
I was just thinking that. It's like, I don't think so, bud.
Okay, we got one no. Ryan, what do you got?
my whole life's a prison. So, no, no, I don't think I would. I'd like to say that I would, but I don't think I would.
Oh, you'd go crazy sitting in that cell for 13 years.
Yeah, especially you're sleeping on the stone floor. You get piss water for dinner, one meal. Nah, I'd wither away. I want to say I'd make it, but yeah, no.
All right, Jeremy, I'm passing the topic on to you.
Okay, well, we've always got to ask this. Favorite character?
I mean,
Besides Edmond.
yeah.
We can't say Edmond.
All the like side characters that were helping him were like really good. If I had to choose one, I'm gonna go with the old priest guy.
Okay.
He says, "I'm a priest, not a saint."
And that's also repeated. I'm a count, not a saint. When Edmund says it. That's my favorite line in the movie. Because it's, the throwback to the priest, too, and his time that he spent with him. So, hits you in the feels a little bit. Ryan, what about you?
Superboy.
I'm going to have to go with Jacopo. It was between me. Me. Yeah, I'm brown, too.
That would be my second choice.
It'd be between Jacopo or Luigi, but I'm going to go with Jacopo because he was like comic relief a little bit.
I can see where you're coming from. He was a type of comic relief.
Yes, it's not your standard like comedy, but it was just funny. His actions or some of the things he would say.
Yeah. It's like the bam, bam, bam quote, like I said. I was laughing during that. But
I go over there, bam, 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 boom, we done. Or what else did Jacopo say that caught me off guard? Oh, that's what it was. I swear on my dead relatives and even even the ones not feeling too good.
Yeah. That's a good way to do it, like a Dr. Evil quotes comic relief character.
Right. It breaks up the whole theme of either holier than thou or I'm going down a path of revenge with no repercussions.
Yep. Anything else?
No, I kind of mentioned some of the other stuff I would have brought up here throughout the review, so I think I've covered everything that I was going to.
Fair enough. Ryan, last topic on to you.
Jeremy, did you say you read the book?
I did not. I've heard the book is absolutely phenomenal, and yes, I heard the book is better than the movie.
Are you boys interested in reading the book? That's my first question.
Yes.
Maybe I just
Book Boys review?
Read The Martian.
I had to do that for a college class.
Highly recommend it. My 13-year-old self highly recommends it, Cody.
I'm an audiobook style person, so
Yeah.
I'll find out a version of it. And I've got to talk to you boys after the podcast about us getting library cards.
Oh boy, I haven't had one of those since I was, 13?
Yeah, for one of our next reviews. So,
Oh, god damn it. Research required.
all right, anything else, Ryan?
Yeah, favorite comeuppances.
I'm gonna save the Magister character with the fake gun because it's really done the same way. It gets him to confess in the bathhouse, and then soldiers come out and then drag him we'll make him walk to the prison carriage, just like Edmond got tricked into. Yeah,
I'm also going to go with the Magister just because it felt more gratifying. It's a lot more satisfying to me, his comeuppance, especially with the whole gun scene, to unalive himself. And he mentions, of course, not making it easy. Edmond mentions that. I felt like we got something similar with Ferdinand. It's just the ending was a little quick. I mean, in both cases, they lost everything. But I felt it was more brutal towards the Magister.
Yeah.
Even though Ferdinand died. What about you, Ryan?
I should say that one as well, but I'm going to go with the prison warden.
That one was also gratifying. I love that one.
Shit, I wanted to mention something too, but now I don't remember it.
What about set pieces? What do you guys think of like the scenery and the locations and things like that?
I think it was mostly France, but yeah, a lot of coastlines too early in the movie, but it really got you into the movie.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Ryan, what do you think?
Yeah, I was very impressed with the look of the film.
And I still don't remember what I was going to ask, so.
Well, I tried to give you more time.
So, Jeremy, final thoughts?
Final thoughts. I love this movie. I will always love this movie. It's an amazing story. Again, there's not much to the plot. It's about comeuppance, but it's how it happens, how complex his schemes are. It's just a wonderful movie. Absolutely worth seeing.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say.
There we go.
It wasn't a question. The whole thing with Ferdinand's revenge relied on him being addicted to gambling. If that wouldn't have happened, I don't know if he would have had such an easy time dealing with him.
True. Good point.
So good thing he had that addiction. But anyways, Ryan, final thoughts?
Love the movie, love the book, love gambling.
Oh, I love addictions.
Yeah, highly recommend.
As for me, really enjoyed this movie. First time I've really been introduced to the whole franchise, I guess you'd say it is.
I guess. I don't know. This is the only one I've ever seen, so.
Can't wait for the Count of Monte Cristo cinematic universe.
Right? The MCU? Hey, we finally got a good MCU. Next time we get another one of these movies, they're going to recast this in a couple years, and we're going to get the Count of Monte Cristo, and it's going to be a female.
Yeah, definitely see the movie, everyone. Great movie. I just didn't like the ending that much. Doesn't ruin it, though.
Well, I was going to say, but is it still Tairimo Boys' certified stamp of approval?
Oh, definitely. I'd certainly watch this movie again.
Every few years I watch this movie, and it still hits the same.
That list is starting to get really long for you, Jeremy.
I know. At some point, I'm going to have a month or two of movies I got to watch. Just straight through the months. Every day.
Yep. All right, let's scale this bad boy. So, with this movie, the theme's on how eventually Edmond had to go and save Mercedes. So today we got the Saving Your Lady scale.
Don't you dare use Princess Bride.
Too bad.
God damn it.
That was some foreshadowing at the beginning.
I fucking knew it.
So Jeremy,
don't you dare.
On a scale of the Princess Bride, there's the big character where Mr. Dread Pirate Roberts has to save his princess, not princess, to an epic tale of Ernest saving his lady, and Ernest goes to Africa. Where would you rank this movie?
Oh my god, that is so fucking mean of you. I'm gonna I'm gonna put this one Jacopo knife. No, two Jacopo knives under Princess Bride.
All right. I made you rank them.
God damn it, you asshole!
Where would you place Stardust on that?
Ooh, no, I can't do that. That is evil.
That's what I do. That's the hard questions here on the Tairimo Boys podcast.
Do I have to really rank that one? Stardust in there too?
Yes.
Oh God, I'm gonna put that. Oh Jesus, that it's on par with this movie for me.
All right, fair enough. Ryan, what about you?
All right, Jeremy. I'll put those 3 hoes above Princess Bride.
Ooh, all right. Well, I like the whole part, so
What are they, like luxury hose or just regular hose?
yeah, this is a
Regular
very
disloyal.
important question.
Regular disloyal hoes.
Okay.
Okay,
So they're not very valuable.
so a smidge, if you will, above Princess Bride.
Yeah.
3 smidges.
3 smidges.
Yep.
You might want
Yeah.
to get those smidges checked.
But here are the Z's red smidges. Okay.
Yeah, Mercedes should get her smidges checked.
Yeah, it's close to the Princess Bride. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening to another episode of Tairimo Boys podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, telling us what you would do for revenge. Don't forget to ring the motherfucking bell. Stay tuned for more episodes.